What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's me, your host, the Saint. I am here tonight. We are talking about a very special event. I say we. Do you know why I say we? Because, as always, somewhere
It's
around
me. It's
these
me.
parts.
It's David Estacado, your one and only, always looking fino, looking divino, that primo that everyone talks about.
Oh,
Ese
Jesus.
güey. I can make t-shirts, man. I'm telling you.
That's not a
Just need that
segue.
one
I
logo.
don't know what you're talking about. It's
It
not
is. It
either
is.
way for a segue. Okay, that's not the
Yeah,
segue you
güey.
ride or the segue that leads us to the next part. You're killing
Look at
me.
this güey. Este güey. Órale. Anyways.
Orale?
Yeah.
All right, that part I
We,
got. Anyway, dude, so we're talking about the Hollie Yatsko Memorial Cup. Um, Four awesome matches, and it would just so happen we've got a guest in the backstage. Let's bring on our guest,
Our guest,
Scotlight's Scotty
Scotlight's
Brooks.
Scotty Brooks.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing good. How are
doing
you?
Doing
great.
good. How are you? Great.
Doing great, doing great. Sitting back, gotta go and promote one other thing. If you like a good cigar, go to Aladino Cigars. Grab one today.
Bring some with you
Bring
Saturday.
some with you
I'm
Saturday.
A big cigar
I'm a
guy.
big cigar guy.
Then you know who we are. If you remember the old school Camacho, that's who I work for, Aladino.
Gotcha.
Nice.
I'm a part of this
I'm a
guy.
part of this guy.
I got a feeling we could change you out.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
Gonna have to work on the
Gonna have to
audio
work on the
there 'cause
audio
there's a
there
lot
because
of-
there's a lot of.
I apologize. I don't have any headphones or anything. I'm doing this straight from my phone. I apologize 100%. This is the
No
best
problem.
I can
No
do
problem.
at this moment.
Let me see
Let me see if I can do anything.
I got nothing.
I
to
got
do.
nothing to
What
do.
we'll do is this. We'll mute Scotty and then unmute Scotty when we're done talking. So that way then Scotty can talk. See, because Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty, damn it, you took it from me. I was gonna jump
That
on
song kills me.
Damn.
That song is hilarious. I still listen to that shit this day. Anyway, look, dude, Scotty, you are going one-on-one with Braden Marshall, which is one half of Whiskey Business. Dude, I don't know how well you know him. I'm hoping it's better than I know you. But Braden is one pissy, tough customer. What do you have to say to
Pissy.
your
I
brother?
wouldn't say pissy. I would say
Pissy.
tough.
Well,
Oh,
he's pissy.
oh, you gotta
pissy.
enunciate, man. Enunciate.
I
He's
did
one-
enunciate. I can't
Oh,
help that you can't hear. That's your
man.
problem.
Any-
You have an ear
anyway.
infection. I swear to God.
He's a tough son of a bitch. Here,
Yes, he
Scotty.
is.
And barroom brawls and fights are kind of his style. And looking at you and doing my homework here, this could be a hoss fight.
Well, let's start with Braden Marshall. You see, Braden Marshall, a lot of people were not aware. We had a show where I faced Braden Marshall in the main event at Ring of Fire Wrestling on August. I think it was the 18th, whatever the opening weekend of high school football was. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Braden Marshall was the one looking up at the lights that night, 1, 2, 3. So I know Braden Marshall pretty well. We've crossed paths quite a few times. Whiskey Business, on the other hand, they're a lot tougher with each other than they are one-on-one. It's just like a lot of times tag teams have problems in this area. One will get ready to win or whatnot, and a little bit of jealousy can ensue there. I don't get that advantage because I got him in the opening round, but I do have an advantage in already having the win over Braden. Braden's a hell of a competitor and a hell of a guy, but we're going to see what happens that night. That's the reason we have the matches, correct, guys?
This is true.
This is true.
This is true.
I mean, here's what you also got to remember. This is my comeback tour, so to speak, for the last 2 years. I was around in the business up here in Marion, North Carolina for a long time, where we had a lot of great wrestlers. Cash Wheeler came through here. Gunner, aka Jackson Riker, came through, was on the cards in a lot of these places. John Schuyler. So the level of competition was a lot higher back in the day than it is now in a lot of ways. Now, that's not to take anything away from Braden Marshall, Johnny Ryder, or any of the other competitors, Christopher Phoenix, Chris Prince. I mean, the list goes on and on. Big Country is a hell of a competitor too. When you're faced with that level of talent in a few matches, it's if you can win this, you've really done something. This is arguably one of the most premier. Sorry, guys, trying to get this straightened out. This is one of the most premier events out there, the Hollie Yatsko Memorial Cup. So, this would be a great win in the resume, but at the same time, we also have to remember what we're giving back to.
Right. I agree entirely. I showed up at the last Hollie Yatsko. I was, personal ring announcer for Brino Royce, who went up against Christopher Prince, who ended up winning the whole thing last year. And it's a good event. Anytime I get the chance to do charity, or in this case, something to do with cancer, especially, I like to throw my name into it if I can. Now you mentioned working up there in the Marion area. I've done a little bit of work in Marion, show or two in there, and I think one or two in Black Mountain as well. But that's only been within the last year. Either way, there's a lot of good competitors in this. Like I said, we've got all 4 opening round matchups listed, and I mean, we're going to talk about them throughout the night. But you mentioned you got him in the first round, and you just faced off with him in Ring of Fire a few weeks ago.
August 18th. Actually, I just saw it.
So less than 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Good. Are you okay with that statement this time, David? Is that okay with you? All right, good. Now I can proceed. A few weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, whatever. Haven't you ever heard doctors? Oh, well, yeah, we'll get you a referral in a couple of weeks, and 9 weeks later, you're finally going to see the next guy. Yeah. It's a few weeks, I promise.
Now he's saying he has a doctorate, Scotty. You hear this guy? He says he's the doctor of podcasting and wrestling now.
The next thing I know, he's going to call himself the Doctor of Thugonomics.
No.
I don't.
For God's sakes, I mean, it's still somebody else's gimmick over here. Why don't you?
I'm not stealing anybody's gimmick, period. I don't know what he's talking about. Neither does David. David never knows what he's talking about.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. I am comfortable with saying that, 6 weeks ago, he and I faced off. It's going to be a great match. This is probably the one opening matchup that, not just because I'm in it, but because this is 2 guys that can go out there and beat and bang and, beat the hell out of each other, but also have a great wrestling match.
I think for me,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think for me, you guys are pretty much setting the bar for the night. This is the opening matchup. This is a really big deal, especially for this being a memorial. You guys are pretty much going to be setting the bar and setting a foundation for the rest of the night for the entire event. And with you two starting it off, I think it's going to be a huge, big deal. See what I did there? 2 big guys. These could be big, beefy boys being brutal in that ring. That's what's going to be a great way to start it off.
Absolutely. Braden's again, he's one tough, for lack of a better term. I apologize if you get in trouble for this, but he's a tough son of a bitch. I mean, he is a very tough cookie. I can't sit here and not put him over with everything that he's accomplished in such a short time in the business. But, let's not forget, right now I'm the longest reigning Ring of Fire wrestling champion. I'm also, I just got back from doing TV in Mississippi this weekend. I'm all over the place too. And I've been in the ring with literally some of the best in the business. I've been in the ring with a Ricky Morton, with Tully Blanchard, with Maestro, with Barbarian. I've literally put myself out there, and a lot of this, might be before some of y'all's time. I mean, I got into the business in December of 2002. So we're coming up on my 21st anniversary. So my wrestling career can officially have a drink this coming December. So, guys, and I took some time off, had to get some things straightened out in the personal life, but I'm back. I kind of liken it to, one of my heroes is Shawn Michaels. I'm kind of having that second run, and I'm coming around, and it's even better than the first one. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that. Do I think Braden Marshall's going to beat me? Absolutely not. No. Do I think I'm going to come out the victor? Absolutely. If it doesn't, then we know that there was some dirtiness afoot, and we'll just have to take care of business the next time I see him.
Oh man.
What a way to say that you're running it back. And that's these kind of matchups that I love, the back and forth. You guys are going to put on a hell of a show and a hell of a matchup. I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, also look at it like this. You got these two cats, which are, fairly big guys. Like you mentioned earlier, it's your opening contest. They're going to set the bar. I'm interested to see how much gas the big guys use in the opening match, in the opening round. Because now you have to worry about that gas tank the longer the night goes for these guys. That's what I'm getting at.
Another thing, that's a good point, would be you don't want to show your hand too early in the matchup, too. You're going to have to keep some stuff in the playbook in the pocket, right? Is there any special surprises you got for Braden, or are you going to leave that up for later on in the tourney here?
Well, to quote the infamous HBK, I'm going to give these people a show like they have never, ever seen before. Why? Because I can. I don't go out there and half-ass anything. I give everyone, every time, every second that I go through that curtain till the time I go back through the curtain, I leave it all out there on the line. There's, I wrestle each match like it might be my last. The first match could be my last. He could catch me with something, and then the next thing you know, I'm looking up at the lights, 1, 2, 3. But at the same time, I could catch him. So, we just got to see what happens. We got to see where things go. But I'll promise you this: I will undoubtedly give you the best show of the night. Now, I'm not going to be the guy that's going to be jumping around and doing 5,000 hurricane ranas and 12,000 drop kicks and all that. But, I can be just as athletic as the next guy. So it's a lot of fun. And it's going to be very much a challenge. The cardio training has really amped up for me coming into this event. It's been one of those things that I've been concentrating on. We'll see if it lasts.
Very cool. So you say that you've been around since 2002. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you the generic questions, if you don't mind. Who were your original trainers? If you had to name your best opponent, who would that be? And what states are you not a fan of working in?
All right. Well, let's see. Let's go with the old school. Okay. So me and Cash Wheeler, I know I'm name dropping here. We literally started together on the same trampoline in the backyard whenever we were 15 years old. And this is the, right before the World Trade Center attacks back in 2001, 2002. We found a group of people. There was a great wrestler around here who had also done some WCW work. He lived in Marion at the time. His name was JD Sullivan. My father was the one that was in charge of the rec department here in McDowell County. And he would open up the rec early so they could set up the ring early so a group of us could train. That group in training included Cash. It included another name from the past, Tom Williams, the image breaker, Tom Williams, who hasn't been around since probably about 2013, 2014, maybe a little bit longer. But those guys, we learned how to bump from them. And then I remember one day being in the locker room at New Blood Championship Wrestling down in Forest City, and Ricky Morton and Stan Lane were the main event that night. And Ricky walked up to us and said, "Hey, I can I'm going to watch the opening match. Whatever you guys need, I'll help you out. And it was really cool because Ricky took me off, me being the babyface that night, Stan took Tom off, and helped us out with our match. Helped us put together our match. Which, looking back on that, that's very that stuff doesn't happen in today's independent wrestling. We went out, we had a great match, and then Ricky kind of came over to me and said, "Hey, if you want to learn some real wrestling stuff, like psychology and things like that, here's my number. Come pick my brain." So I did, and I ended up riding with him a couple of times. And then a bunch of us got about 2005, 2006, put together some money. We got us a ring. This is after I got out of the Army. They got a ring, and we went to wrestling. And in that time, for about 10 years, my best opponent was the Image Breaker, Tom Williams, and Stephen Walters, who would later become Cash Wheeler, were probably two of my favorite opponents I ever had in the wrestling business. Here lately, I am really just happy to have somebody that can that knows how to put together a match and has some psychology, and then they can also do the old school thing and calling it in the ring. A lot of that's a lost art in today's wrestling. A lot of young guys, they want to plan out every spot in the back, and you got to remember that crowd might not respond to that. So it's best to be able to call an audible on the fly if you need to. That's just some of those things that I have very much witnessed since then. One of my favorite opponents since I've been back, Marcus the Mook Cunningham up in Nashville at Urban Combat Wrestling. The story was told. It was an easy match, big guy versus little guy, and Mook can really get after it. I haven't heard much from him since TCW, Tim Toller, shut down, who was the financial backer of us here in Marion for the longest time, whenever it was RWA back from about 2011 to about 2015. So, I really miss working with Mook. I wish him the best up at UCW, and maybe we can get him down towards this part of the state later on.
That's awesome.
Gotcha. Yep, definitely. Yeah, I don't normally go that far up the state to work. And David goes all the way up to the state line to work. So it's kind of
true. Yeah.
I'd
probably go farther if I could.
Yeah, I stay working in like the Charlotte market. So Charlotte and Spartanburg market. That's about where I mainly do my stuff at. But as far as it goes, I'll unmute you.
One thing I was going to say, one of the other places I really got to start was APW from about 2005 to about 2007 in the Spartanburg market. I used to work down there. A lot of those guys, I went and visited them about 3-4 weeks ago in the locker room. You asked what states I'm not a fan of working in. I had looked into working in Oklahoma for a little while, and but they want your firstborn child to be able to be licensed out there. And then South Carolina can be a little bit of a stretch sometimes with the licensing. It's based on who's running the commission at the time. But yeah, APW will always have a special place in my heart for that. Jay Eagle he really took me under his wing back in the day, and he was really beneficial to a lot of us younger guys back then. So a shout out to Jay for that. Which a debut in Boiling Springs might be coming down the road in the next 6 weeks, just to throw that out there. Seems like AJ Frost and I might have something to have a little squabble over.
Well, that I can understand. AJ, I know AJ. I want to say I had a conversation with AJ last week before, one of the two. But I actually have never been to APW Boiling Springs. I've never been there, never worked there. I've been everywhere around it, but not there. it's just one of those places I haven't been to. But either way, I am excited to see how this tournament pans out come, this weekend, this Saturday. Um, I've never been to Newton Conover, so I don't know the area at all. So I'm interested to see how that town shapes up. I'm also interested to see how that town shows out for professional wrestling.
Well, Ring of Fire, we ran the same venue back in June. If you go on my social media, you'll see a very good picture of me all busted open from that event in the last man standing match. We probably put about 300 to 400 paying in that venue for that night. So they should respond well. It seems like the show has been promoted well. Gene always does a great job of that from what I'm seeing. And the fans, if they're there, they are some of the liveliest and rowdiest that you'll ever see.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. That really gets into it.
Oh yeah, that definitely makes it sound like a good time. But I've seen it before, man. I've seen it before where you get 50 fans that's louder than 500. I've seen that happen before too. It gets wild. So I'm interested to see how it pans out this weekend. I'm excited for this weekend.
It's funny. The Heritage Barn with the Ring of Fire maybe holds 100 people with the ring in there. And there's been times where we've had standing room only in there, and those 80 to 120 people sound like 10,000 in, the Spectrum Center or whatever it's called now, Time Warner or whatever, the old Charlotte Coliseum, so to speak.
That's the Spectrum Center.
Yeah. So that tells you how long it's been since I've been to a Hornets game, or anything in Charlotte for that matter, as far as that goes. But no, it's one of those things. I like it whenever the crowd's rowdy and into it. We should have some good fans. There's always one that shows up to a lot of the shows in this area. Miss Elizabeth Presnell. If you've not met her, you will that night. She's a special needs girl that comes around, and she has a big, huge championship belt. And I absolutely love her to death. She is the sweetest girl on the face of the planet. So I always enjoy seeing her. So give her a nice little shout out on here. Love you, Elizabeth.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Those fans are the best. The ones that always come by. They're like your regulars that come to shows, and they always make those matches and those shows extra special because they're always so happy to either cheer you or boo you, talk trash, or kind of cheer you on. I love those kind of fans.
Oh yeah. Now, one thing I found kind of interesting. This happened Friday of last week. So I hand out, one of my little tricks as an announcer is that I take the match card, what I read off in the ring. Now it only says what I say in the beginning of the match to help everybody understand. I announced I don't know nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's written on the card. Now, at the end of the show, I sign all the cards and I offer them out to the fans. Hey, what was your favorite match? Here you go. This is what I read in the ring. I was watching people take the card with my signature, go find the wrestler that was in the match and ask them to sign it too. I'm like, that's pretty cool. They're responding better to this. So it seems like any little, that is a freaking, a 3x5 that I got from the damn dollar store index card. You know what I mean? And they're tickled with it. It's the coolest thing to see kids liking stuff like that.
I think it comes down to
moments.
Special moments. That's what we're creating. Is those special moments.
Moments for fans.
I agree 100%. Earlier this year, I did a reading at the library for Ring of Fire, and it was the day of the show in Newton Conover, and you should have seen those kids come out. They thought it was the coolest thing to take the picture with the belt. They thought it was awesome. A lot of them came to the show that night. One of the funniest things I used to do was, you sell 8x10s of yourself. And I used to think, my God, people really want me to sign their stuff. I'm nothing, I mean, I can only wonder why they like me. And then it just kept building and building and building from there. And I mean, you can't help but, a lot of people, it builds their ego up, but if you don't stay grounded in the right way, it can really turn into something bad, and it can even turn into a cancerous locker room if you're not careful. But at the same time, it is really cool when somebody comes up to you wanting to ask you for an autograph. So I don't care what anybody says. It's like, it's kind of, it's, you want my autograph? Okay. Yeah. I'll give you my autograph. Yeah. You want to take a picture? Absolutely. Yeah. But I'm also the guy that believes, I'm also the old school guy that still believes in kayfabe. So if I'm healing out that night, I'll tell you a story about APW Spartanburg way back in the day. This one girl came in and she had an autograph book that she had gotten everybody to sign. And I'm a heel at the time. And it was kind of known, don't talk to Scotty when he's walking in or walking out of the show. If you caught me outside the show, I'd probably be nice to you. But so I'm walking in and she says, will you sign my autograph book? And her dad's standing right there. This girl's probably no older than 9 or 10. And I took her autograph book and slung it over there in another field and then walked straight in. Now, yeah, I know some people would say, especially in today's wrestling, well, that was mean and uncalled for. But now here's the one thing I'm going to ask you. Don't you think that whenever I came out later that night, that girl and that father, they had a legitimate reason to not like me? So when I did that, if those two people don't like me, guess what they're going to do? They're going to tell everybody in there. And little stuff like that can get you the crowd reaction. And that's what's lost in wrestling today. It's kind of like everybody's in like, oh, it's a show, however you want to say it, but they lose the illusion. And one of the things I hate is whenever I see wrestlers on social media later that night, oh man, thank you for the match. That was awesome. After you just got your ass kicked by the guy, at least maintain a little bit of the kayfabe, for God's sakes. If you're going to do that, do it in a DM, don't put it out there for the world to see after you just put it on there. For the last 3 weeks, I'm going to kick your ass whenever I see you. I mean, you don't even see the UFC fighters do it that bad. So, I mean, yeah, they might hug and say thank you at the end of a fight, but they still hate each other. I mean, Rampage Jackson and Rashad Evans shook hands, and then at the press conference, they asked Rampage Jackson if he gained any respect for Rashad Evans, and he said, you can still kiss my black ass, Rashad. So, I mean, I mean, I think that's one of the things that's lost in today's wrestling business. I sound like Jim Cornette or some of the old guys, but I honestly think that the kayfabe is what made wrestling such a big deal. We don't have anybody nowadays, even in the AEW and WWE, Impact and NWA circuits, that elicits that emotional response of somebody like a Dusty Rhodes whenever he got his leg broke by the Horseman and people are trying to climb into the cage to defend Dusty Rhodes. And then the Horsemen have to fight back for 30 minutes, for God's sakes, and with 7 to 10 cops in riot gear. They have to fight their way to the locker room, and then they have to be snuck out in the trunks of cars because people were ready to kill them. Nobody gets heat like that anymore. Nobody elicits an emotional response like Dusty Rhodes. And I think if we could find that, but I also think at the same time, letting people in on the illusion actually hurts. So I guess I sound like the old Jim Cornette guy going around and saying that. So,
well, not so much in my opinion. So here's the thing. I agree with what you're saying, but I also feel like because of the era we're in, it's harder for that. And I don't just mean that because of a social media type of thing. I mean it as an instant era. Look at the way tape trading was happening when you were coming up, right? So pre-2000s, pre-high speed internet, you had chat rooms, AOL chat room, you got mail and shit. You had that, and you could message back and forth that way, and you could talk to somebody in another state or in another country and talk wrestling with them, but you didn't know real time what was happening yet. You could go on Wednesday and look up the results for Thursday Night SmackDown on WWE.com, WWF.com back then. You could go see that shit on the internet then, on dial-up. But you couldn't see the matches yet. So now here we are, 25 years later, and all of a sudden everything is wide open to everybody. I think it's partially due to how much information's out there and accessible by anybody. If anybody's a big enough fan of anything, if they love Beyonce, they're going to discover that Beyonce had 73 producers, 83 writers, and 93, I don't know, pick something else involved in making her last hit. Not her album, just that one song. There's 500 people getting paid off this one shit right here. And that's it. Now, 30 years ago, you wouldn't have known that about Tina Turner. You know that about Beyonce today, but you wouldn't have known that about Tina Turner having 30, all them people involved. Look at how much more everything's involved now. More money, more information. Everything is so spread out. So I agree with you that part of the magic is not knowing. I don't know how to get that far or how to even get remotely somewhere back to that. If that statement makes sense. Like, I agree with it, but I don't know how the hell in the world we would get back there.
I think one of the ways that we can get back to it is, I don't want to say you got to run a tight ship in a locker room, but loose lips sink ships. So for example, I worked a show not long ago. I'm not going to call the Fed's name. I'm not going to call the kids' names and the workers that were out there, but I saw some of the most unprofessional stuff I'd ever seen. And I mean, I'm not going to lie. I got onto them. They were calling a match literally right by where you get your ticket to go into the building. And I'm sitting there going, you've got to be kidding me. No wonder there's this level of professionalism that's being lost. I think if we, I think kayfabe has to come back to an extent. Now, I'm not against people knowing the results and things like that, but I think, if you're going to go out and have a drink with the guy you just wrestled, go to a place that not a lot of sorry guys, the dogs are going nuts over something, go have a drink somewhere where the marks aren't going to be, for lack of a better term, the fans aren't going to be all up in your business and asking you about things. If you have dedicated social media to your craft, make it only about your craft. Don't sit there and, outside everybody sees everybody get into one's car. They don't even do that in WWE. Even now they're making heels and babies ride separate still for the most part, unless it's just somebody that's married and they're both, but one's heel, one's baby. Of course, they're not going to say anything about that, but like if Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins were opposite, they wouldn't make them ride separately. So, with that being said, though, I think it's on the workers and the rate of professionalism that needs to come up in the industry. And I think, for lack of a better term, you just got to work harder at it. You got to figure out ways. I know that sounds crazy, but and it seems like an ultra simple solution, but yeah, you just got to work a little bit harder at it. Be that guy that goes out of his way. I've sent my matches off to certain people and in the business, for example. And what amazes me is whenever you get to a certain level and they say little things that need to be done, whether it's shooting a free throw or throwing a pass in football or a pitch in baseball, the experts will look and they'll find a tiny thing that can change and make a big impact. And I think it's the tiny things that need to change maybe in wrestling. And I think that would help out tremendously.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will agree with that. I agree with that, and I think Bill Wright here from Overdriver was, I agree, professionalism is a key, and kayfabe should either be reborn or reinvented. I think it needs to be reinvented.
It needs
as you were
something.
saying.
How you doing this evening, Bill? Also, Gene Perry did chime in earlier. He said, Scotty Brooks, on behalf of Down and I, we welcome you to the 2023 Hollie Yatsko Memorial Cup. And then Shane Sanchez chimed in. What is up, Shane? Oh, man. But so, Mr. Brooks, we've been talking to you for the better part of a half hour. We greatly appreciate you being on. Do you have anything else you would like to say before your matchup this weekend?
I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I'm going to get this one opportunity. Braden Marshall, you better bring it all, because if you don't, I promise you're going to be looking up at the lights. Now, Braden, I know you like to fight. Well, so do I. And I've heard all these things come out of your mouth that you're going to end my career. You're going to end me. You know what? I've been around for a long time. And if I had a nickel for every time somebody said that, I'd be a millionaire. Well, you know what? I'm close to that. And it's because of stiffs like you, Braden. And whenever I get you in the ring to open up the Hollie Yatsko Memorial Cup, in the words of my entrance song, Gary Clark Jr., you're going to know my name by the end of the night.
Ooh, I got tingles,
Ron.
I liked it. I really did. I was trying to wait until I hit the mute button on him before I said anything, so he didn't get the echo reverb going. But you know, it's okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. Anytime. Just to let you know, I'm available anytime you guys want to talk.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
Very cool.
We do shows
at least
weekly.
Normally we have an extra one for an independent scene or an independent show coming up. You know, they'll send us a request. Hey, do a special just on this event or this show, and you know, here's the talent and whatever else. They'll send us the card, things like that. We do stuff like that for them. As you can see, we talk about all the big leagues as well. So we just kind of talk all sorts of levels of wrestling.
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me. And, you know, I look forward to bringing home the Hollie Yatsko Memorial Cup. I got a feeling it's going to go home, and I got a nice place on my mantle ready for it.
Very good. Well, I will see you Saturday. You know, I know what time they told they told me to get there, so I'll see you when you get there.
When are you going to get there,
Ron?
When am I going to get there? I don't know.
When
I get there, that's whenever I'm going to get there.
Exactly.
But you know, I promise you, I'm going to leave it all in the ring, whether I have one match or 3 matches that night, or 4 or 10 or 12 or 100. I will give it all my best shot. You know, I hate it for everybody else that has to face me that night.
That's awesome. I like that. I like that one.
Well, I mean, listen, I mean, I could come on here and I mean, I could tell you how I am 255 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal, you know, and I could ask you, you know, what's Braden going to do when he gets attacked by the man that's jacked? All right. I mean, I got them all night long, but the time for trash talk has stopped. And, you know, look, Braden, this is real. I'm going to take you out, and I'm going to win the Hollie Yatsko Memorial Cup. I don't care if I've got to go through Whiskey Business. I don't care if I've got to watch Risky Business from Tom Cruise. The Hollie Yatsko Memorial Cup is coming home with me.
Jesus Christ. Well, I definitely believe him. I definitely believe him. You know, I think after we've gone through all of the after we've gone through all the opening round matchups, Dave and I are going to build our March Madness. Well, it's fucking October Madness pool, I guess, for how we think this tournament's going to go. But once again, Mr. Brooks, thank you very much, and I'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you. You guys have a good night.
Hey, you too. Dude. All right, so the guy's funny as hell. I got to give him credit for that. Yeah, same. I look forward to Saturday. I already look forward to it, but that just makes it even more fun. So we know Scotty Brooks and Braden Marshall. We know that's happening. The next one we got to talk about is Tristan Williams and Johnny Ryder. Okay. I don't know about Braden or Scotty. That's going to be two big hosses doing big hoss things, okay? Johnny's going to smack Tristan Williams around, in my opinion. I can't see Tristan Williams beating Johnny Ryder. I can't see it.
I'm going to have to, wow, actually, I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm actually going to have to agree with you on that one.
I just can't see him. I cannot see him beating him. I know what Johnny does in singles and tags matches. I've seen him in both. I don't see Tristan Williams being able to withstand the bludgeoning that is coming to him.
Now, if you talk about like just raw power versus raw power, yeah, I agree. He's gonna have to find a way around that. He can't go on head on with Ryder. He's gonna, I don't know. He's got to use some of that speed to kind of do some guerrilla warfare, kind of hit and move, stick and move, and maybe catch him off guard with something.
Hey, that's probably the game plan. Tell Todd Myers to send us a flyer so we can talk about that on Thursday.
Way ahead of you. Already did.
Good job. Look at you. You're learning. You might be a slow study, but you're learning.
Haha, funny.
Anyway, another matchup that Zachariah Cutter, Jackson Sane. So, somebody needs to call Zach Cutter's mom and tell her, which funeral home to send the corpse to. Because that kid's not going to survive. Jack's insane.
I got to give it to him. The kid has heart and a whole lot of balls. It might be stupid, but to go against one-on-one against Jackson Sane.
What is that song that was in Jackass? If you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. Because there's nothing smart about Zachariah Cutter getting in the ring with the deranged horror movie villain.
Unpredictable. Because you don't know what you're going to get from him.
Exactly. And we're in the backwoods of North Carolina, somewhere near the mountains and shit. So he's going to be like super fresh because he didn't have to walk that far. I feel bad for Zach Cutter. Zach Cutter's going to get.
So if he could pull off an upset, what an upset? Think about it. I mean.
No, I can't think about it. You're asking me to think about something that I couldn't see. I don't think that Ray Charles could see that. I don't think Stevie Wonder could see that. There's some obvious things, and that ain't one of them, Jack. I can't see Zachariah Cutter beating Jackson Sane. I can't do it.
Do you have any pictures of the match cards? Because I kind of want.
No, I don't. I got the main poster. Is what I got.
I guess we could put that up there.
I got the main poster. Which is this? I got this. I got the poster.
That's nice.
It is. It's very nice. So yeah, I do not see Zachariah Cutter beating Jackson Sane.
My money is on Jackson Sane on that one. I mean, he's unpredictable. I mean, he's a scary powerhouse.
Right. Now, the last matchup, opening round matchup for this, Big Country and Christopher Prince. Talk about David versus Goliath. Because that's a huge discrepancy in size. It ain't a huge discrepancy in heart, because I've seen both guys wrestle over the years,
but you got to give it to Christopher Prince. He's gone against other opponents in the similar outclassed, and he has, like you said, the kid has heart and tenacity, and he has overcome some surprising opponents. This could be one of those opponents that he could surprise us. The kid's tough. I got to give it to him.
I agree. So now that we know all 4 of the opening round matches, you and I, do you got a piece of paper handy? Need to get call Miss Kate. Miss Kate, need paper and a pencil. I'm not going to do it with a piece of paper because I don't have a pencil in here. How do I not have a pencil in the office, right? I don't know. But anyway, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to document our picks. And we're going to do it the digital way. Are you ready? The digital way. So what we're going to do is we're going to jot down our picks in the comment section. So start off by typing, who you are. So in my case, I'm putting Saint. Oh, it's going to be in the comments for everybody to read. All the fans can read this the whole time. And then just answer who you think is going to win each match. So you should end up with 4 names. I'm just using last names. I've got my 4. You let me know when you're done. You got to put it in the comment section. You got to type it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the card. I'm using I'm gonna do my thing.
You got to type it out. What are you doing?
I know that. Give me a second. I have a process. Let me process.
You can't process. What's up, Luke Fury? And then Todd, yes, like I say, send us a poster or something, and we'll talk about it on Thursday. That's what Thursday's for. Unless you want to pay us, and then we can talk about it, tomorrow night.
Which will be a whole hour spot. If you want a whole hour spot, send us a flyer and we'll talk details. And message. Yeah. I just messaged you, Todd. So message me, either me or Saint.
Most definitely. What is up, Luke Fury? And then.
All right. So are we doing it in the order that you sent it to me? Because that's how you.
That order. Yep.
All right.
Okay. Oh, dude. So Joel Williams is actually getting in on this as well. He said Brooks Ryder. I know. Well, for now, that logo's staying. That logo's staying for now, because there might only be 3 companies by the end of next year. Sane. Look, 1, 2, 3. If he says the same one as I've got for the 4th one, I'm going to die laughing.
All right. Give me a second. I'm trying to set this up.
Oh, no, we're different. We are different, Bubba. Look, here's me. The Saint says these 4. That's
I haven't looked at it yet.
Saint and Country.
I haven't seen it yet, so give me a second.
You're good. Can't believe he chose Christopher Prince over Big Country. Last year's defending against, I believe that was year 2. He won year 2. Big Country won the 2nd year.
That's right, he did.
Of the Hollie Cup, I believe.
Is that going to change is that going to change anything, or no? You good with what you got?
I'm good with what I've got.
All right.
I know who won last year. I was there last year. We were in Rutherford, North Carolina for that one. And when we left there was like this weird, goofy, like pop-up carnival thing in Chesney, I think it was. Dude, it was a little cold outside. I don't care. My kid had fun. Like he ran around and had a good time.
I'm gonna be a little weird here.
What else is
but
new
I think
for
this is my pick.
Send it in the comments section. That way it's documented for the world to see. It's got to be documented or it doesn't count. Brooks, Ryder, Jackson, Prince. Okay, so yours and Joel Williams, y'all have matching ones. Y'all have matching guesses. Okay.
There's gonna be some sleeper hits.
All right,
so some sleeper hits.
That's round one. My round two. My winners from round two. I'm going to go ahead and give you my round two. Brooks and Country winning round two. And he's got Brooks and Prince winning round two. And who do you got? Because I don't know if Prince is going to get past Jax on y'all's. I think Jax and Country. I think that's where it comes down to it for me. You're going with Ryder and Jax. Yeah. Wow. Ryder and Jax. Okay. So we're all going to have...
It's a dream match. I think it's a dream match.
Well, then I believe we're all going to have a different... Well, possibly. I'm going to say that I believe we will have a new first-time ever winner for the Hollie Cup, and I believe the finals between Brooks and Country, with the winner being Brooks. I'm going with Spotlight Scotty Brooks for the win in the 2023 Hollie Yatsko Memorial Cup 8.
Are you sure you don't have any insight on this? Because I feel like
I got nothing.
You blind? All right.
Absolutely nothing. How the hell would I have insight to anything?
I don't know.
Make that make sense, genius. I got nothing. Only thing I can tell you is this. The guy had a killer promo. He was smoking a cigar on my show. No, he's got my win. He's got my vote. He was on my show smoking a cigar. Like, how much more my guy can he be? I gotta go with that. Oh, okay. Do you want me to make him more my pick? He needed to have either a glass of Crown Royal or a glass of Eagle Rare in his hand, and then he even further he would have been my pick. That's it. Or he could have been drinking a Stella.
So you're saying that Brooks is going to go all the way?
I got Brooks going 100%. All the way. 21-year vet, 21 years in the wrestling business. Still throwing down matches the way he's throwing them down. Just beat his opponent for the opening round 6 weeks ago. I gotta go with Scotty Brooks.
I guess it's an easy bet. So
don't tempt me with glasses and things, man. You got right. I don't want to hear that because I've got this bag over here, right? I've got this bag, and I'm really waiting to get into this bag.
I don't know. So I'm going to go the opposite way.
I think it's kind of pretty. I think the glass is kind of pretty. Look at that. Look at that color. Ooh.
That's nice. That's nice.
It is.
I'll give you
It
that.
is nice.
So who's going to take this all the way? Damn, it's between one of those two. You know what? Wild card.
You're going with Johnny Ryder. Yet again, a new first timer. Okay. That's cool. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you for that. Not in the least bit. That's not a bad pick. But man, let's see here. But I mean, for real, man, to me, it seems like it's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a great show.
It's going to be a good show.
I mean, it really is. That first matchup, if we think about it, any one of these combinations is main event material and main event potential. These are big matches, man. Regardless of who goes through, this is a huge big deal.
Yeah, like I say, I like the layout. I like tournament style stuff anyway. I enjoy tournaments. The only thing, I've seen this scenario used before, and I heard about it getting used recently, which is funny after I wrote the exact same scenario down about a year ago, for something locally.
I'm used to this stuff. I'm constantly watching Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken tournaments. This is pretty much how it goes. And I start rooting for the underdog, who hasn't been playing for a while, and then eventually somehow there's like two underdogs at the top, and it's crazy.
Well, so the other style that I like is, have you seen where these people have been doing battle royals, and then the final two are in there, the ref jumps in the ring, you good, ring the bell, and now it's a regular straight up match.
Yeah, that's what happened at UPW.
Yeah, I know it did. I wrote that a year ago for a different company.
And IEW. Wow, it's a thing, and I like that.
It's getting popular.
I think it's
it's
fun to watch.
It's cool. I wrote it. I wrote it for a different reason.
You should have patented it. That was on you.
Why you can't patent an idea?
Yeah, you can.
Not like that.
Really?
Okay, not like that, because somebody else could say, "Oh well, it's different because they had a 60-second delay and we've got a 45. It's not the same thing." And see, technicality, it's over. Or if they had said, "Well, instead of 60 seconds, it's 61 seconds." Now it's different. Oh, they played music in between.
The verbiage would be within a set time frame within blah 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 the blah blah blah. That's how you cover that.
Yeah, but then you make it stupid. It sounds dumb when you can't over exacerbate shit like that. You make things dumb. You make things bad. But anyway, bro, we've gotten our predictions done. I don't believe anybody else is coming on from the show, but thank you to Scotty Brooks.
Great. Thank you, Scotty Brooks. And thank you for that. Like, he went on a pretty cool tangent of like what he's done, who's he's faced off. I got to give it to you. That's an easy bet with all the opponents he's gone through, with all the big names he's, crashed through. He's an easy bet to win the tournament.
Yep. And here's the thing with Spotlight Scotty Brooks, there's at least going to be two people smoking a cigar at a cancer, benefit this weekend.
It's terrible.
God awful. I know, but I can promise you this. Look, hold on. Oh, they're catching up too. They're catching up. I got them chilling in the humidor, getting that level right. You gotta watch that. You gotta watch that moisture level. So I've got them sitting in the humidor ready for the weekend.
Nice.
ain't playing. Ready for the weekend. So, but anyway. Oh, Max Carnage chimed in. What's up, Max? How you doing?
Hey.
But definitely, we will be back Thursday night this week. We got lots to talk about.
We sure do.
TNA name.
A lot. Just stuff dropping. Like, it's almost every day we get news.
TNA name change and more
Cheeseman? Wrestling Cheeseman? No, thank you, Gene. Thank you for this awesome event. Ron?
Chris Jericho.
You froze, buddy. And now we can't hear you.
What the hell just happened?
You touched something.
Good?
We're good now.
Listen. Chris Jericho a while back said, don't worry, AEW is going to beat WWE's ratings very soon. Well, last week, if you combine Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision, all their ratings combined, they are only 5,000 short for Monday Night Raw.
It's not bad. I could care less about the numbers. I just like the fact that there's wrestling on every week now.
There is wrestling on every day. What are you talking about? There's wrestling on every day.
Yeah, good point.
But
yeah. Seriously, where did he go?
Where did who go?
Reach out to us, message us. We'll do something for you.
Who's that?
Sorry, brain
Todd.
fart. Todd.
Yes,
yeah.
Todd Myers.
Thank you, Todd.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Bill, thank you.
Gene Perry. Oh. Gene Perry chimed in to say thank you, Gene. You are very welcome. I look forward to seeing you Saturday, my friend. So I cannot wait, and we will see you there. All right, man. You got anything else to say tonight?
No, because that's more of a Thursday thing.
Yeah.
Probably. How about a shout out to? Thank you everybody for watching, for posting, for commenting. For all of you watching and you want to be a part of this, just like Todd, send us a message. Reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to do this. We'll give you a whole hour to talk about your promotion, to talk about yourselves. Hell, we'll even do breakdowns for you. Breakdowns, predictions. That's what we do.
Yeah, well, we got recaps from last week to do.
Mm-hmm.
We got Thursday's kind of busy, so if we don't do anything tomorrow night, I'm not going to be, heartbroken about it. Okay. So, but either way, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. We will see you back here Thursday night. If I don't see you Thursday, I better see you Saturday because you need to be in the stands. If I don't see you Saturday in the stands, I'll see you Sunday in the stands, and I'll tell you why Thursday. Have a good one. We'll see you at the end.
Deuces.